This is exactly why I wait before commenting on certain situations, especially situations involving the police. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for some of the others who are collecting woke welfare in the mainstream media. They definitely earned their welfare yesterday. Talking about you, Stephen A. Smith. Looking at you, Shannon Sharp. Hey, it's me, Shay Shay. Damn sure talking about you, Kaitlan Collins, Katie Roo, who, unlike Shay and A, Kaitlan Collins was given the benefit of having the body cam footage already released before she conducted her interview with Tyreek Hill. And she still refused to push back against Tyreek Hill when he was clearly, well, I don't want to say he was lying, so let's borrow a phrase from George Bush, W, and we'll just say that Tyreek Hill was clearly misremembering. You know, in my 23 years of driving, I would estimate that I have probably been pulled over at least 100 times. I'm a good driver, I think so anyway, but I'm an aggressive driver. I don't like driving, so I'm always trying to get where I'm going as fast as possible. I also don't like people driving in front of me, so I am constantly trying to separate myself from all the traffic. Your chances of being in an accident, they decrease drastically when you're far away from other drivers. But this year alone, I have been pulled over 3 times, 3 different cities, 3 different police officers. 2 of the police officers, they were black, the other one was white. In the 100 or so times that I have been pulled over, you know how many incidents I've had with the police? None! Well, KC, that makes perfect sense. You're the white man. The police are there to serve and protect you. Yeah. Tell that to the cops 20 or so years ago when they were arresting me 10 times in the span of 3 years. And just to be clear, every time I was arrested in my late teens, early 20s, I definitely deserved it. But the reason I don't have altercations with police is because I cooperate. I have illegal tint on my car. It's hard to see inside of my 4Runner if you're standing there with your nose pressed directly against the window. What is the first thing I do when I'm pulled over? I roll both of my front windows down. Why? Because I know how scary it's got to be for a cop to walk up to a vehicle and not know what the hell's going on inside of it. The last time I was pulled over in July of this year, the first thing the cop said to me was, "Thank you for rolling down your windows. It eased my tension knowing that I could see inside." What happened to Tyreek Hill Sunday morning? It could have been avoided. All he had to do was cooperate. And look. The cops, more specifically, one cop, they were not completely innocent. Most of the cops were fine, but there was just one cop that was a little bit aggressive. But more than likely, it would have never reached that point if Tyreek Hill had done the one thing that could have prevented this: cooperate. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel in the description below. I'm covering topics on the second channel that just aren't in depth enough for the main channel. Videos over there are shorter, 5 to 7 minutes in length. I appreciate all of you guys who have already subscribed. Last I checked, I think we were already over 1,500 subscribers in the first 2 or 3 days. The videos on the second channel, they're ad-free because I haven't reached the required watch hours for monetization. So enjoy the ad-free content while you can, because it ain't gonna be that way for long. The way I see it, there are 2 ways that you can cover this story with Tyreek Hill. There is the honest way, which is what I think we are doing right now, and then there is the agenda way, where you are pushing a narrative. Katie Roo Collins, who claims to be a serious journalist, who claims to be neutral, the Roo, she decided to subtly paint the narrative that this was another case of law enforcement overreacting because the driver was guilty of DWB, driving while black. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. The first clip I'm about to show you. This is how Kaitlan Collins opened her interview last night with Tyreek Hill. The second clip gives you the full context. Watch for yourself.
Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Damn! What part of blood are you in this town? Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, dude. I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting out, bro. God damn, twin. When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand? I'm getting out. You understand? Not when you want.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Like what? Why do you have it up? Keep it down. Hey! Keep your window down. Hey! Keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car.
Give me that, bro.
Get out of the car.
Give me that, bro. Break that freaking window.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out.
Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. What part of blood don't you understand?
Do you see the difference? Do you see what I'm talking about here? Unlike Kaitlan Collins, I did not receive a degree in journalism from Woke U, meaning I haven't been indoctrinated, but it also means I have no training in media. So how can a dumbass like me figure out that it is important, it is crucial to provide the full context, while an educated Rue, she chose to show the footage that fits her narrative. Last night, Tyreek Hill, along with his lawyer, they appeared with Kaitlan Collins on CNN. Tyreek Hill wanted to explain his side of the story, which is fine. That's fine. I completely understand that. We all have different perspectives. Tyreek Hill should be given a platform to explain himself. What I don't understand is why he would choose to appear on CNN. More specifically, why he would choose to appear with the Rue. If I were in Tyreek Hill's situation and I was explaining my side of the story, I would want my interview to reach as many people as possible. Kinda hard to do that when you're appearing on CNN because no one is watching this dump of a network. And the few dozen people who do watch CNN, they are damn sure not watching the Rue. You don't have to take my word for it, just go look at her ratings. As of this morning, Kaitlan Collins is barely clinging to the top 10 at a network that can't draw flies to a fresh turd. This interview last night with Tyreek Hill, it is a prime example of why Rue struggles to draw an audience. She opens the segment with Tyreek Hill asking about his headspace when he was initially pulled over. Okay. I mean, that's not the first question I would have asked, but Rue is the professional. But listen to his response and pay very close attention to the follow-up question from the Rue, because she gives absolutely no pushback to Tyreek Hill's ability to completely misremember what actually happened. Roll the film.
I wasn't on that kind of energy. Like, I was chilling. Like, I was following rules. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't moving fast because, I got injuries. You feel me? I got things that I go through. I play a physical sport. I've been doing this for a moment now, man. So I'm dealing with some stuff. So I guess the officers, they felt like I wasn't doing it on their timing, but I was doing it.
Well, and when you watch it,
here we are.
Can you tell us what happened with the moment with, you didn't see it there in the video, but you're in the car, they're yelling at you to roll your window down. What was happening there?
Hey, Rue, I was just chilling, maxing out, relaxing, all cool. I was following the rules. I seem to remember Tyreek Hill giving commands to the officer to quit knocking on his window, which is ironic because he wouldn't have to knock on the tinted window if it was already rolled down. Tyreek Hill also claimed that he was slow to move, he was slow to cooperate with the cops, he was slow to get out of his car because of his injuries. "Oh, my leg hurts. I've got a boo-boo, officer. I need my crutches." Correct me if I'm wrong here. Was I the only one that saw Tyreek Hill outrun the entire Jaguars defense on Sunday for an 80-yard touchdown? Was I the only one that saw Tyreek Hill catch 7 passes for 130 yards? His injury didn't seem to bother him when he was running away from the best athletes in the world. So you really expect me to believe that his surgically repaired leg prevented him from getting out of the fucking car? The reason Tyreek Hill was pulled out of the car is because he kept rolling up his tinted window. He told Rue that he rolled up his window because he didn't want people that were driving by noticing that Tyreek Hill was pulled over and started taking pictures and causing a scene. He also said that he was getting out of the car before the officer began to grab him, which is true. That is true. I have watched the body cam footage countless times since last night. When the officer opens the door, Tyreek Hill is putting his leg out of the car, preparing to get out of it. And then the officer aggressively grabs him. Now, can you make the case that that one officer was a bit too aggressive? Absolutely. But at the same time, you got to try to look at this from his perspective. You've got someone pulled over who isn't fully cooperating. He rolled up the window. You can't see inside the vehicle. You don't know what's behind that tinted window. I would imagine that your instincts are telling you to get him out of the car as quickly as possible and make sure he's not armed. Watching this interview with Kaitlan Collins, it was abundantly clear CNN was trying to make Tyreek Hill look like the victim. Listen to this ridiculous question. And remember, the Rue claims to be a serious journalist. The Rue claims to be independently reporting the news without narratives. Remember a couple of weeks ago when she was on Bill Maher's show, Katie Rue claimed that CNN was the place to get unbiased coverage of the news. Listen to this question and you tell me if this seems unbiased. Roll the film.
And I saw that you said if you weren't Tyreek Hill, that you feared this could have ended a lot differently. What do you think could have happened?
What? Excuse me? Why in the hell are we speculating? Why are we asking Tyreek Hill what would have happened if it wasn't Tyreek Hill that was pulled over? Hey, Rue, I've got a better question. How about we ask what would have happened had you simply cooperated from the beginning? Or how about this? What would have happened if CNN hired someone with talent and charisma to host a dump in prime time instead of hiring a Rue? What would have happened if the donut diva Brian Stelter failed to consume all the donuts and catering? You know what would have happened? CNN would need extra forklifts to get people from the dressing room to the studio. There are millions of people that are pulled over by the police every day in America. You know what usually happens? Well, first, they roll down their windows. They hand over their license and registration. They accept their ticket and they move on. All Tyreek Hill had to do was cooperate from the beginning. That's it. It's really that simple. But for whatever reason, he chose not to. He cooperated when he was ready, but that's not how this works. When you are interacting with law enforcement, there is no such thing as selective cooperation. But what do you guys think? Was Tyreek Hill cooperative? Was the one officer being too aggressive? Could this have been prevented if Tyreek Hill was cooperative from the beginning? Also, give me your thoughts on Kaitlan Collins and the way that the way she chose to interview Tyreek Hill. She purposefully shows body cam footage completely out of context. She asks speculative questions, asking what would have happened if it wasn't someone famous like Tyreek Hill who was pulled over. I thought the Rue was supposed to be unbiased. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys later.